everyone. This is Lisette Lee with Stand and Empower, and in today's interview, I have my special guest, Anthony Galavis. Welcome, Anthony.
Thank you.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you passionate about?
I'm passionate about helping people. So throughout my life, I've been able to be in different positions, different careers that have allowed me to work with the public, but not just in an interactive way, in a way that I can influence better outcomes for people. I've been fortunate enough to coach kids for a couple decades now, worked in the automotive industry, and I'm currently working as a mortgage officer where I'm helping people purchase homes, refinance, put them in better financial situations.
Yeah. Well, how long have you been doing the most recent thing, which is a mortgage?
So mortgages, I've been doing that 5 years now.
Okay. In the industry that you've been in, the one most recently, what are some of the challenges that you've had and how have you overcome them?
Since I got into mortgages, I got in 5 years ago, right at the tail end of COVID. Well, actually not the tail end, but actually I get in the beginning parts of COVID. So right around that time, there was this big economic shift. I had been in the automotive industry prior to that, and I noticed that rates had dropped as I'm helping friends kind of set them up with people that I trusted in the industry, and them kind of lowering their monthly payments, consolidating their bills. I realized that this was kind of an opportunity for me to move from one lane to another, and I could help kind of steward that change for them.
Yeah.
So at that time, the first year, the majority of the business was refinances. You were looking at 2% rates. These are things that we had never seen before.
Yeah.
So it was a great time, great momentum, but you could see down the road that the weather was changing. It could only last so long, and by this point, about a year and a half in, a lot of people had already refinanced. So I started to manipulate my business, maneuver it in a way with realtor relationships. So just kind of seeing the storm that may be coming, try to foresee it and then adjust to a different, again, just an adjacent lane. Luckily for me, that I got out of the refinance portion early enough to be able to sustain business before the bottom dropped out a little bit.
Yeah.
Then next thing you know, what started off as a trickle turned into a full thunderstorm with rates going down. That created an entire new bag of challenges.
Wow.
So from that point on, I had to adjust again because now purchases, people aren't buying homes anymore. The cost of buying a house just literally doubled.
Oh, yeah.
So when rates went from 2% to now you're talking about 6%, three times the interest rate overnight, it seemed like the business crawled down to a halt. So I had to again figure out a way to be profitable, and that pedigree of helping people.
Yeah.
I was able to shift my business from just helping people buy a house to now people that didn't think they could qualify for a home. So now there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity to move over lanes one more time and look at first-time home buyers, look at down payment assistance programs so the people that couldn't buy now can, because you're not being outbid by 20 investors all looking to buy that one house.
And so from what you're sharing is that that just didn't hold you back, right? It didn't keep you there, where you took on that challenge and you took that turn into, okay, well, what do I need to do? What's next? How can I continue to help people, right? And just navigating through all the challenges.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's really good that you were able to do that. Now, before you transitioned into the mortgage industry, right, you were in the car business.
I was in the car business, yes.
What made you take that leap and leave the car business, because you were there for many years, and jump into mortgage?
One thing that I was very fortunate, I spent 19 years in the car business, and the majority of that, 15 years of that, was on the finance side. So that gave me a history of understanding interest rates, the impact of interest rates, how it converts to an APR, amortization. So because I already understand the relationship of financing, now I can take that skill set and move it over. Then really it's just scaling it. Now it's just that same type of math on a grander scale.
Yeah.
But because of it, I'm not learning an entire new skill set. I just can take what I've already been doing for 15 years and then I just apply it to a different product.
No, that's great that you were able to use that, right, into this new industry. And I know the car industry has long hours, right? So for you personally, in regards to balancing your home life, right, and work, what are some of the benefits for you that you've discovered with just moving into this other industry?
Changed everything. That was the main purpose behind doing it. I have been very fortunate. Car business, so I would say, honestly, it's been very good to me. It's been very good to my family. I wanted to, one unfortunate aspect of that industry is that it kind of takes priority. So your family learns to work around your schedule. Honestly, your life revolves around the car business as opposed to work kind of revolving around your, we had the priorities wrong. So this allowed me to be home more. I can't, it has completely changed my life, being more involved, especially at a delicate age for my kids.
Yeah.
Being able to see them every day, being able to have dinner every night, it's changed my life.
Oh, that is beautiful, especially that family time, because kids grow up, right? And then you don't have that time, you missed out on a lot.
Yeah.
It not only helped you have the skill set that you needed for the mortgage industry, but at the same time, it improved that quality of life, taking that leap. Sometimes it can be hard to leave something that you've been in for so long. Did you experience that?
Very much so. I had quite a bit of self-doubt. It's different. So I'm not a person that's built with a lot of hesitation, but now I have a family. So it's a whole different calculation, because if I make a misstep, coming from, let's say, just meager beginnings, that gives you a little bit more of empowerment that if you fall, it's okay because you've been there before and you've dug yourself out. But I've never done that to my kids. They've been fortunate. My wife has been fortunate that they've only had this life experience.
Yeah.
So now if you fail, yeah, I'm willing to accept the sacrifice, but hold on now, I'm changing their reality if you fail.
Yeah.
So that part gave me pause. It definitely was a challenge, but it was completely worth it. It honestly, it was just kind of the risk reward.
Yeah.
Considering what I stood to gain, if I could make this work, it was worth the risk.
Yeah, so important that you took that risk, took that leap, especially for your family, but still including them as part of it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Well, who has been your biggest supporter? Has it been your family, or who else in your life?
100%. And there's no way in the world that I wouldn't have had the courage to do it without my wife. If she didn't stand behind me, if she wasn't honestly like really the driving force behind, you know you can do it. So not just, hey, I'll support you with whatever you want to do, giving you that kind of almost like that guide from behind. But you know you can do this.
Yeah.
So just kind of like reaffirming and reminding you what you're capable of. So it's not just a support, but it's almost just like a co-pilot.
Yeah.
And then when you start having those moments where that hill seems a little steep, that headwind starts to pick up, and then that person just like, no, you're okay. You got it. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It would have been a very different outcome if it would have been the opposite, right? Like, oh no, why did you leave your job? Why did you do this? And why are you trying this something new?
Even if she would have had doubt.
Yeah.
Because you remember, this is your wife. So even if she would have been willing to support me, but you knew that her hand was shaky. Because
Yeah.
it's your work, you're gonna read it.
Mhm.
You're gonna pick it up in her voice, and you're gonna pick it up. If she wasn't fully committed, fully believing that, not just believing, knowing she was complete conviction. And because of that, it gave me something to fuel off of.
Yeah.
And then also, there's no way I was gonna prove her wrong.
Mhm.
If your wife believes in you, there's no way you're gonna allow yourself to do that.
That's beautiful. That's a great message for you guys out there. So that was great. Thanks, Anthony. Well, what would you say has been something that's happened in your life, maybe apart from a challenging moment, something pivotal that's happened in your life that has changed it, impacted in a positive way?
I guess kind of keeping it on the same topic, one of the most important moments that at the time was almost a little divisive, I would say. I did not believe it, but it turned out to be one of the biggest directional changes in my life. Was honestly advice from you, perspective that you gave me I'm gonna go back and I want to say about 12, 13 years ago.
Really?
So you told me, and this was under my protest because there was a little bit of a debate, but we were talking about, and your husband Jorge had mentioned this too, but it was kind of in passing. And then you guys reaffirmed it, and then you gave me some support and everything, but you talked about the prioritization of a marriage, of a household. Up until that point, my self-identity, what I believed was my identity as a father, as a husband, was to protect and provide. Those were my chief values. And not just to provide, but to provide to the best of my ability. So I truly felt like I was winning. I was doing a great job. I was providing a great life for my family. But in this protect and provide, I wasn't involved in that equation. In the perspective that you gave me, I thought the priority was to put your kids first. And this is gonna sound a little, again, may sound divisive. It's something that it took me years to fully feel like I understood it in order to be able for it to impact me the way it did. You explained to me that the priority has to be the marriage. It has to be the head of the house, my relationship with my wife. This is not only the example that we're giving to our children, we are providing the environment from our partnership.
Yeah.
And if you don't make that the priority, when you let that take a back seat because you are servicing your kids,
Yes.
which is easy to want to do, you want to maximize that in every way you can. But when you lose sight of each other and you lose sight of the aura that you guys give off, everything stems from that. And I wrestled with it. Instead, I wrestled with it. I wrestled with it. I'm going to say 2 years.
Wow.
So it spoke to me in a way that resonated to where I couldn't let it go. I couldn't dismiss it. I wanted to dismiss it. Right? That's part of my nature. I had to be a contrarian by my DNA, but there was something about it that just wouldn't let me let it go. I was like, there's something here. And I just kept seeing it from different angles, and I watched how it became a reoccurring thing. Now that right there, once I felt like I absorbed it and I could commit to it, I became a better husband. I became a better father. My role in the house completely changed. And that was one of the that ripple effect
Wow.
led eventually to me leaving the car business, completely changing income stream, completely changing tax brackets, completely changing everything because my priority became my wife, my household, everything, not what I'm able to provide.
Yeah.
My presence with her, with them, it led to an entire different life path. Once I embraced that, I took on the challenge of being the best husband I can be. In what ways have I maybe lost sight of the person that she married? And I would remind myself and I would tell myself things, you would have done it when you were dating. So when I see something, when I hear a song that reminds me of her, you don't sing, you don't sing, right?
Yeah.
You don't, you just let the moment go by. You would have done it when you were dating. So now I had to show up in a better way because it reprioritized. I know that this is the right way. I believe it. So do it. So embody it.
Yeah.
Right? It changed. That bit of advice changed my life.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank
I
you for
didn't
sharing.
even know that. So thanks. And it is beautiful to share that part of your story because one of the things that you're saying is you can work, try to just chase the money, right? Because of that provider piece of it, but at what cost, right?
That was the thing that I didn't know how to balance, right? Again, from that young man, whatever it was 12 years ago, my perspective was I was winning because of what I'm providing. So I'm doing it. And not only am I doing it, I'm doing it well. And I was just blinded. And then it's amazing. You can just move to a different side of the room, look at it from a different angle, and see a whole different world.
Yeah, so true. What would you say to somebody who's maybe having that same lifestyle where they're working so hard, they have to meet quotas, timelines, and make the numbers that they need to meet, and now they're working 60, 70 hours a week, they don't really see their family, maybe even at that point they are considering moving into a different career. What would you tell them?
Act. Go. There's never a perfect time. The only pause that I would ask somebody to take, do yourself a favor and forecast the road ahead, because there's no way to anticipate all the challenges that you're going to face. But I think it's absolutely essential that you make amends with yourself that there's going to be hard times. So this has helped me tremendously when I can say, I know there's going to be challenges. I don't know what they're going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a bear around the corner. I don't know what's going to come next, but I know there's going to be something. And when it is, I have to be able to have this internal conversation with myself. You knew this was going to happen. When you start to feel sorry for yourself, when you start to feel like, oh, did I do the wrong? You knew that today was going to come. So get back up, keep moving forward, because you already committed. I already committed to myself that when today comes, I'll bend, but I won't break. Okay? It's okay for me to feel it. It's okay for me but the moment's over. You knew what's going to come. Now get back up and get going.
Yeah.
So I ask anybody I advise, don't wait so long. Don't try to anticipate everything. At a certain point, you just have to go. You have to leap and just trust that you're going to learn to fly before you hit the ground. And when the hard times come, be prepared. You're not going to be able to account for everything. Trust yourself. You haven't lost until you quit. Other than everything before then is just a setback. As long as you keep that mentality, I think that most challenges, I think you can win. I really, really do. I think you can win as long as you continue to push forward with enthusiasm
Yes.
and full-on self-commitment.
Keep pushing forward, even when it doesn't feel exciting at some point, right? Because if you're just guided by feelings and emotions, those can be a little treacherous at times. So it's good to keep having in front of you that vision of where you're going, what you're working towards.
With conviction, a lot of times you'll deal with challenges and then you'll go ahead and you'll do the next step, but you didn't do it with enthusiasm. So because of that, there's almost an element of self-manipulation, a little bit of self-sabotage, almost, where we start to lean into the negative. We start to almost absorb that woe is me. We start to absorb the darkness. And now because of that, we didn't fully commit to our next action, and we lower the probability of success without realizing that we are now the architects of our own demise. We are now aiding the challenges. We're actually hurting ourselves. So that's where that self-conviction, that boldness, and I'm going to say, if you're going to fail in flying colors.
Yeah.
Commit, full on commit. Why not? See what happens.
And you've tried it. Rather than living, if I had done this, or I wonder if I had done that. Right?
That's the worst. That's the worst.
Living a life with no regrets that you tried it, even though it came with risks.
Yeah.
And if it failed,
It's
also
okay.
analyzing, right? Like, yeah, it's okay, but what went wrong? Or what can I try now? Or how can I modify this plan? And then keep moving forward.
Yes.
No, that is very important. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you again for being in today's interview. I really do appreciate it. Guys, what Anthony shared today is absolutely gold. It's amazing. So I say this all the time, watch this again, take notes. This is valuable information that is applicable in your everyday life. And I do have one final question for you. How do you stand and empower?
I stand in power by my goal. What I want to be is the annoying optimist, right? So with anybody that I'm fortunate enough to interact, I want to help people in any way that I'm capable of. Whether that's in the financial industry, where I'm able to help you personally get out of whatever predicament you're in and set you up for a better tomorrow, whether that's planning to make a difference next year, or even if it's just learning from my failures, learning for how I went about my path. What are the things that I had to personally overcome? I want to be a resource to any and everyone, however I can.
Yeah.
My life's goal is to empower as many people as possible, to make the biggest impact footprint while I'm here.
Yeah, that's amazing. Giving back, right? Sowing seeds with your experience, with your knowledge, and not holding back. Not being, well, this is mine, I'm not going to share my secret.
No,
right?
learn
But
from my
wanting to
failures.
give. Yeah.
No, oh my goodness, trust me. I'm a guy that has to bump into a wall to know it's there. So learn from, please, I beg, learn from my failures to make it easier for yourself.
Yeah. Thank you again, Anthony, for taking the time for being here today, and we really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this interview. Anthony's information will be in the link, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to him. And we will see you next time at Stand and Empower.